tell us a little bit about your process and the journey that you went through? Because like many kind of driver personalities that are very, committed to a career, you were working a tremendous amount of long hours. Can you just talk to us a little bit about kind of like the years that you went through that process and kind of like what happened with you and your own health experience that led you to have kind of like an awakening that things needed to change in your life?
Yeah. So I think what it really came down to, and I didn't realize this until maybe a year or two after I had been away from it all, because when I was in it, it was really easy to get stuck in sort of a blamey, victimy state of mind. And after being away from it, what I recognized was that I was putting a lot of pressure on myself. I was also being, super self-critical in the outcomes that we were trying to achieve as an organization, and having convinced traditional construction company to do something that's focused on sustainability and green building in a way that my expectations were much different than the expectations of the normal construction company. So, in the end, what I recognize is that all that pressure I was putting on myself and that drive to constantly, put in more hours and try to get more done and push through and work through the weekends, and doing that for about 10 years, really took its toll on me. And to the point where my wake up call was in the ICU when a doctor, she basically handed me a sheet of paper and said, we need you to sign here because we have to stop your heart and it may not restart. We don't want you to hold us liable. And in that moment, I was just kind of like, what? Just in shock about this idea that at age 37, how did I end up in the ICU with my heart stuck in atrial fibrillation and them concerned about me dying from a stroke? How would that happen? And even the doctor after, obviously I'm alive now, but after being shocked with the defibrillator 3 times, the doctor afterwards was asking me, so like, are you doing a lot of drugs or anything? And I was laughing. I'm like, no, I don't do any drugs. Alcohol? No, I don't do any alcohol. Caffeine? No, I don't even drink caffeine. She's like, are you stressed out? And I was like, I guess. And that was a big realization where, I just assumed that that's kind of how we're supposed to do things. And part of my realization coming out of it was that, we don't have to work in that way. We don't have to always be unconsciously committed to struggling and working hard. And we don't need to be putting in so many hours to hopefully get ahead, that there's actually much smarter ways to get ahead than to putting in all those hours, because we're far less efficient.